Hello everyone and welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to unpack something absolutely fascinating. It's something you literally interact with every single day, probably without even realizing it. We are looking at the architecture of movement, decoding the hidden logic that dictates our transport networks. Whether you commute daily for work or you're just, running errands around town, there is this incredibly complex, meticulously planned web of infrastructure that's guiding your every step. My goal today is to help you see that invisible matrix clearly. So, let me ask you, how do you actually choose your travel route? Seriously, take a second and think about your commute this morning. Did you take the bus, maybe the train, or did you drive? Most of us just kind of think we're picking the route that feels the best, right? But in reality, our brains are instantly calculating some very specific hidden variables. Without even noticing it, you're making complex decisions based on physical infrastructure, time, and money. We're going to break down exactly how urban planners map all these choices out for you.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the transport network matrix. Then, terminals versus interchanges. Third, we'll cover the rules of accessibility. And finally, mapping city destinations. All right, let's jump right into part one, the transport network matrix.
Now, the whole foundation of this urban blueprint relies on things called nodes. Essentially, major and minor nodes are just the specific points located within a transport network that act as centers of activity. It's like a giant puzzle. Today, we are really going to focus heavily on the major ones, mainly because these feature a massive concentration of activities. They are quite literally the bustling, beating hearts of the entire transport grid. Okay, let's dive into this next part. Section 2, terminals versus interchanges.
So, a terminal is a facility where passengers and freight either originate or terminate their journey. Just think about the word itself, terminal. It literally means the end of the line, or conversely, the absolute very beginning of a journey. When you're standing at a terminal, the active moving phase of the transport process is either just about to kick off or it has definitively stopped. The journey starts or ends right there.
But then we have the interchange. These are points of transfer within or between transportation networks of different modes. And honestly, this beautifully illustrates a core concept of urban design, which is ensuring the continuity of traffic flow. You see, unlike a terminal, an interchange is not about stopping. Not at all. It's about shifting gears. It's where you might hop off a bus and seamlessly jump right onto a train, moving between different transit modes so the flow of movement never actually dies down. Put them side by side, the contrast is super sharp. A terminal is all about the absolute origin or end of your journey. You arrive, boom, you're done. An interchange, on the flip side, is purely about transfer and continuity. You arrive only to keep on moving. Urban planners actually have to design these major nodes very differently. I mean, one handles static, accumulating crowds, while the other has to manage a constant, rapid flow of people, just crossing paths. But hey, it's not just about how people move. It's also about what is moving. The network strictly separates passenger nodes from freight nodes. Freight nodes are designated specifically for bulk goods, transported by land, sea, or air. And they are strategically located far, far away from where passengers travel. Which, let's be honest, makes perfect sense, right? We probably want to keep sleepy morning commuters physically separated from, say, 3 tons of industrial cargo being loaded onto a freight train. Separating these nodes just keeps the whole system safe and efficient.
Moving right along to Section 3, the rules of accessibility.
This brings us to accessibility, which is pretty much the ultimate buzzword in transit planning. It's defined as the ease of reaching destinations or activities with any given time frame and cost. You see, major transport nodes are deliberately placed in areas that offer incredibly high levels of local accessibility. Basically, a highly accessible location is just one where you can reach a bunch of different destinations with relative ease. The whole goal is to make the city feel smaller and way more connected for the people living in it.
And the bedrock of this entire system? It really all boils down to some simple math. Short travel time plus low travel cost equals high accessibility. Remember that question I asked you at the very beginning about how you choose your route? Well, according to the data, most of us base our travel decisions entirely on this one calculation. It's human nature. If a node offers short travel times and low travel costs between locations, people are going to flock to it, for sure.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, mapping city destinations. Let's look at some real-world examples.
Take commercial nodes, for instance. Places like the Raffles Place, City Hall, and Bayfront MRT stations are prime examples of major hubs located right in the central area of a city. Because they offer incredibly high accessibility, these nodes are specifically designed for people to easily access commercial services and go to work. They totally thrive on the transport network. They act like these massive magnets, pulling in tens of thousands of commuters every single morning, all based on that exact time and cost equation we just talked about.
But hey, life isn't just about getting to the office, right? Major transport nodes are also essential for recreation and tourism. Cultural nodes like Little India, Chinatown, and the Botanic Gardens MRT stations offer direct access to popular destinations that are rich in historical and cultural heritage. Urban planners engineer this deliberately. They want reaching these cultural landmarks to be effortless. It promotes tourism and really preserves cultural engagement just through easy, accessible transit.
So, the really crucial point here is how interconnected a single location can actually be. And in this case, the magic number is 3. Stations like Dhobi Ghat, they are the absolute gold standard of high accessibility. Why? Because they can be reached from 3 different transit lines. I mean, compare that to a minor station limited to just a single line on the network. The more lines that intersect at a single interchange, the higher the accessibility goes, and the more vital that node becomes to the entire city's heartbeat.
Which leaves us with this final, kind of provocative thought. If your personal travel decisions are almost completely dictated by the time and cost engineered into these nodes, well, who really decides where your city moves? Are you actually choosing your path, or is the architecture of the network gently guiding your daily life? Next time you tap your card at a terminal or rush through an interchange, take a second to look at the map. Think about the invisible matrix moving you and your city forward. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.